States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Items consideration of the Vigo County Commissioners. Guys. You guys want to start by reviewing the claims for this month and approving or whatever, or questioning them?
You want to start off with doing the claims, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to. Okay. Or do you want to review the minutes and the claims? Yeah, I'd like to review the minutes and the claims first. Do you have any questions about the minutes from previous?
I don't, but Chris and I were the only ones here at the last one.
Okay, well, that's what I mean. So any questions about the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all by aye? Okay. All right, claims.
Claims, you got February 13th through 19th for $228,270.94 plus payroll of $1,040,451.69 for a total of $1,268,722.63.
Okay.
Motion to approve the claims.
Second.
All those by aye? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. That's out of their way. All
Well,
right.
we got one more claim
Sure.
docket too for the previous week. Sorry about that. February 6th through 12th for $4,051,461.18.
Make
That
a
was
motion to
a-
approve the claims for
yeah.
that period.
Second.
Okay. Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, now, so we've got several things here. Consideration resolution for tax certificate sale. Wabash Valley Health Center.
Yes, Commissioner, you had previously set a public hearing to consider whether or not to assign 2 tax sale certificates to the Wabash Valley Health Center. Those property addresses are at 1426 First Avenue and 1432 First Avenue. I believe they are vacant lots. And this is just a resolution establishing that no meritorious objections or opposition has been presented regarding the proposed assignment.
So is this the final step, Michael? Once we do this today, then title starts?
That's right. The Wabash Valley Health Center will have to take some steps to essentially foreclose that lien, but this will be an assignment of the rights that the commissioners hold as the certificate holder. So,
Okay. Counselor, what's his next one?
the assessor, Mr. Gardner, had received 2 proposals for the Form 11 mailing, the notice of property tax assessment. I put him on the agenda this morning as he had some issues that he wanted to discuss with.
Mr. Garner.
Kevin Gardner, County Assessor. Thank you, Commissioners, for hearing this. Basically, every year we have to send out Form 11s. Previously, last year we used Midwest Pre-Sort, and between last year and now I was contacted by Masters Touch, and they wanted to also submit a bid. So I submitted both bids to you. I can say the difference between the two is approximately $500, I believe. It would be my opinion that Midwest Presort did do a very good job. We were satisfied with what they did, and everything ran smoothly. So I would suggest going with them, but theirs is the one that's about $500 higher than the other one.
Kevin, is your microphone on?
The light's on.
Okay. I don't think I heard you correctly. They did do a good job, or they did not do a good job?
Midwest did a very good job last year.
Did a good job,
It
okay.
ran smoothly. They give us a CD so that if taxpayers call in and say we didn't get a Form 11, we can do reprints, we can do all that on site, and I can load those up and have those out in just a couple seconds. So I do think it went very smoothly.
Okay.
They did decrease their bid this year from last year. They reduced some of their service call at $30,000, and this year it's at $24,304.
But they're basically charging us $7,000 for the actual work, the rest of us postage anyway.
For the actual work, they do the printing, they do everything. The printing, sorting, stuff in the envelopes.
Did you see this? You've been using Midwest for how long?
Actually, last year was our second year. So this will be our third year if we use them this year.
Okay.
Well, looks good to me. How about you guys?
Does this come from Kevin's budget or our budget?
That comes from your budget, right, Kevin? Yeah. We just do the contract? At your recommendation?
Okay.
So-
Upon,
Good.
upon recommendation of Vigo County Assessor Kevin Gardner, we will select Midwest Presort for services.
I'll second that motion.
All those say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, Kevin. You've got another item here? Peterborough?
That's correct, sir. The assessor also asked to provide an update on the Peterborough board composition, so I put that on the agenda.
As some of you may know, I'm not sure if all of you do, historically, we had a Peterborough board that was comprised of 3 members. We had some issues in 2019, and at that time, it was increased to a 5-member board. Since then, everything's gone fairly smoothly. This year, we had a board member that has just resigned. He's one that's been with us for many, many years before I was even in the office. And then we also had another appointment that was made, I believe, by the commissioners that has said that he resigns. So we're actually down to 3 current members. The problem is if just one of those don't show up to a hearing, we don't have a quorum, so we can't host the hearing. I don't think that's fair to the taxpayers. My request to the board, the commissioners, is that either you appoint 2 people fairly quickly, or let's reduce the board back to a 3-member board, in which case the 3 current members. Now, I'm not sure about the split, how that works. How many you guys do versus the council if it's a 3-member board, so I don't know how that'll work with the ones that are left. But if we go to a 3-member board, we've got 3 members that do show up every time. We're set up for hearings the first 2 weeks, the second and third week of March. If we can get those hearings done, we will have all of our appeals processed.
Counselors, are we going to run into another political party makeup issue with the current 3?
Your current 3 would be bipartisan. Steve Lynch is, I believe, either Steve or Tim are Democrats. I know Dave Phelps is Republican, so you do have a bipartisan.
So there is
board.
balance there? Okay.
Also, Steve and Dave both have level 2s because they used to be township assessors, so they meet the requirements for that.
What do you want to do?
I think we should just go back to a 3-member board. It'd be
But
so much
we still
easier.
have to have a 4th, though, for a fill-in, just in case, don't we?
No, you would have a 3-member board. If one leaves, or if one's missing or can't make it, that still leaves us 2, which is a quorum. So I can still host hearings.
it'd take care of a problem we're dealing with right now, trying to find a board member.
Yeah, the problem is, Kyle, he can't spend 2 weeks
They're
at,
going to give us a whole day for $100 a day.
Right.
I am going before council next month to request that they increase that pay, because it is in the budget. I wouldn't need an additional appropriation. I can still fund it, but I requested that last year and it didn't get discussed, so. I'm
so
not
even
sure
if you
where
only
that's
have
at.
2 people at a board meeting and they're both Democrats, that
That's a
doesn't-
possibility. You can have that happen.
so then what do you do, just cancel the meeting?
No,
What-
because that can be waived by the commissioners. That's not a requirement that you have to have to host a hearing.
Well, no, you said that you cancel it anyway, because if you don't have 3, you don't have quorum.
2, well, right now, because it's 5. If you reduce it to 3, if I have 2,
Right.
I can host a hearing.
Say that again?
Right now, you have a 5-member board.
Right?
We have to have at least 3 for the majority. If one of the 3 that are currently left can't make it, we're down to
Right.
2. That's not a quorum, so we can't host a hearing.
Right. So
If
it
you
does-
reduce
so
it-
So it's irrelevant as far as party makeup, because
well-
all 3 have to be there anyway.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
But in the event that there was a 3-member board, any 2 of those members make up a quorum.
Sure.
And allow the meeting to go on, even if it is 2 Democrats.
Right, regardless of partisanship,
Okay, I thought you
if
said
I've got a
earlier-
quorum, we can host a hearing.
I thought I heard you say earlier that if one is not there, then you can't.
Right now, with it being 5, if you reduce it to 3, then yes, 1 can be missing and we can still host a hearing.
And then is it a challenge for us to change it back if we decide that the 3 isn't going to work, we just go back to 5?
My recollection is it's not, as long as the appointments are still coming from the appropriate bodies, it is a council and commissioner made-up board. I think right now it's 3 and 2. I think my recollection of the statute is if it went back to 3 members, it'd be 2 and 1. 2 members appointed by the commissioners and 1 by the council. So I guess it's just a matter of if those 3 people meet that. You can't have 3 members that were all appointed by the commissioners. That's all, my only.
Right, and that's the part that I said, I'm not sure who appoints which ones. I just know that
That's what
we've
we'll
got 3
nail.
left.
So we need to verify that before we
That's
vote
right.
on
Yeah, I
reducing
mean-
it to 3.
This was not for action today.
Sure.
Kevin came into the office yesterday and brought it up, and, it was agreed that you guys needed to hear about it and understand what the issue is, and, verify that information and then come back with a plan, I guess.
When Kyle called me last week and told me he was going to resign, I called like 5 people, 4 people. Nobody.
Because of the pay?
Just,
And the
well, not
time
really the
commitment?
pay, it's just the time.
I mean, they got hearings for 2 weeks, so that means you have to miss 2 weeks of work, get paid.
Yeah, it is not a, you need somebody who's been associated with real estate and not got any other obligations, and the money's not important
That's
to
what I was
them.
thinking.
It's-
Well, I mean, we could call Brad Anderson and see. He's been a real estate.
Brad, yeah, no, Brad would be a very good Peterborough board member.
And however you guys wanted to design it is fine with me, because like I say, there are still 3 current members, and they almost always show up, so I know for March, we should be fine. I think they'll be there.
When do your meetings start? March?
Second week of March, we start hosting our meetings, and then it's 4 days, and then 4 days the next week.
We got to have a solution by next Tuesday.
That should wrap us up for the whole year unless something starts straggling in toward the end of the year.
How about we just discuss this over the next week and then we'll come up with something
That's
by next
fine.
Tuesday?
But you'll look at the board makeup and how they're appointed.
I can
And
check
let
with
us
my
know.
chief deputy, because she's the secretary of the board, and see which ones were appointed from which division.
So we technically then, we either do 3 or we need to fill 2 spots.
Right.
Good luck to us on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
Well, then what do we want to do? Table this for review this week and
Well, we've got
look
nothing
at
to
action.
table. It's just a
Okay.
discussion, but yeah, we've got to come up with something by Tuesday.
Okay.
How many cases do you have lined up, Kevin? Sorry, I should ask while you're up there.
We have approximately 170 people that got paid out of 500.
So this is catch-up.
This is, prior
Okay.
Okay, one commissioner opinion, I think we can get this working, and I want to thank you for reducing the number of cases to substantially so that it's a manageable position. It is manageable at this point in time due to your work. Thank you. Okay. Next item, what's...
The Commissioner Kearns had sent me an email regarding House Bill 1381, which is a bill pending before the Indiana legislature that has to do with, I guess, county zoning decisions on wind and solar projects. The bill, in certain people's eyes, disenfranchises local citizens of their ability to determine the conditions under which wind and solar energy projects would be allowed in their county, opposition to House Bill 1381, and express its support for the rights of individuals and families living in a community to direct their own future through land use decisions. So it is essentially a resolution asking the legislature not to approve House Bill 1381.
Yeah, I mean, our association encouraged all county commissioners to support this ordinance, or resolution, basically because if it does pass entirely, then it removes control from the counties. And it's not just about solar and wind, it's about the fact that Indianapolis is taking more away from our own home. And I feel that we need to be the voices of Vigo County versus somebody in Indianapolis that really doesn't care about us. So this is a good way to say, hey, we want to take care of our own house versus somebody else telling us what to do. We do have one solar farm in Vigo County out near New Goshen. Each surrounding county has a small one too. I've been told by people in the wind industry that Vigo County is not on the radar. Our terrain doesn't, it's not ideal to put windmills out here. So I don't think that's something that we're ever going to be talking about. But as far as solar farms go, they're out there. Yeah, this is more of just us maintaining home rule.
This has been, it's a resolution or wanting to kill this bill in the state legislature by our Indiana Association of Commissioners has been pretty much unanimous.
Yep.
Yeah, 48 of 92 counties did this yesterday.
Because they had their meetings on Monday.
Yeah.
So, Michael, do you have a resolution number for this?
I'm not sure what we're on. Karen would be able to confirm that, but 07.
And we can take action today.
Yes.
Okay. Motion to approve resolution number 07.
I'll second that.
All those by aye?
Aye.
Aye. Good discussion. Thanks.
We need a gavel on that one. Bang. Bang. I need to get you a gavel, President Morris.
Yeah, does that conclude? We got public comment.
No, we've got the appointment for
Yeah,
CIB.
I apologize. There was one item added. It's a certificate of appointment to certify that Terry Conley is appointed as a member of the Vigo County Capital Improvement Board this 23rd day of February 2021 for a 2-year term expiring on January 15th, 2023.
For those not familiar, Commissioner Kern's appointment was a registered, I should say registered, pulled in a Republican ballot.
Did not fit the political makeup.
Yeah, so
The balance of the board.
the Capital Improvement Board has to have a political makeup.
Correct.
And Terry Conley meets all the categories. She has a strong background in finance, very active in the downtown Terre Haute community, which of course is where the convention center is going to go. Heavily involved for many years in the arts, it came highly recommended to fill that spot. She will serve that position much better than I could even think about. So I'm enthusiastically recommend her to fill that slot because you guys don't want me in there.
True.
There you go. So I think that you will enthusiastically make that nomination.
Okay.
You good?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Motion to approve Terry Conley for CIB.
Second.
All right, vote by aye? Aye. Yep, that's, we've been working through some nice appointments this year, making some headway, I think.
Pretty exciting.
And that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Comment, so we have comments or anything?
And we still have the Okra. We discussed,
The, Tammy got a message this morning indicating that something needed to be brought up during the meeting about the application that will be submitted to Okra for food pantries. And a sign-in sheet needed to be completed for the meeting, which has been done, but there needed to be some notification in the minutes that that application was approved to be submitted by the commissioners, that you had previously approved that application in a public meeting. So,
and it's already been advertised in the newspaper as well.
But we're keeping the possible recipients quiet at the moment. And that's not an anti-public information thing, that's just part of the process.
yeah, it's,
Because some of these food pantries don't know that we're doing this,
and you might not get.
and we may not get it.
Yeah. So,
So was this something that McKinsey, I'm going through emails, I didn't see anything come my way, or you guys didn't either, right?
Seen
So
anything?
this was just a last-minute cleanup thing?
We haven't had that meeting because we were in
Right.
And Jean had asked about it before, and then we advertised twice in the paper to get that.
Okay, so timing's just hitting, okay. But we're still moving forward with everything, because I
Yes.
gave her contact information on Friday. Okay, I just want to make sure that I didn't miss something.
it's, if I understand it correctly, it's in essence confirming that you approve the submittal of the application.
Sure, okay.
Formally.
And for those that may not know what OKRA stands for, does anybody want to say what that acronym is? Office of County Rural Affairs. Community Rural Affairs. County sounds better.
The commissioners were brought an opportunity for a grant for a large amount of money. We heard from a group and asked them to pursue the grant. So this will be our meeting to say that that's what we have done, and we are accepting the application and would like to approve it.
Did you just, so is that a, what was that?
Kind of an explanation plus, I could make a motion out of that.
So make a motion to do something. Let's just
Motion
say
to
that. Or
approve
make
the
a motion to
application.
approve something.
Motion to approve the application.
Second.
Second by aye?
Aye.
Aye. It's a good thing. It's a reach. We have the ability with a grant writer to do that. It's not, but it's a reach, whether we'll get it or not. A lot of other people applying for it as well. But at least your county is making an attempt.
Yeah, it's what this job, it's one of the good things about this job.
Yes.
As a friend of mine told me recently, it's more than paving roads. While that is very important.
I don't know, it's been paving roads about the whole time.
Yeah.
Paving roads and snowplow truck.
Have Larry give us a report on that one. They love being put on the spot.
Larry, why don't you? We're in the public.
Your road cleanup project,
Snow removal.
it is impressive. We give him a big hand. My daughter was upset, though.
I bet she was.
She wanted to stay out of school longer.
So one of the things we've been working on this winter is trying to establish some snow routes and some, at least some guidance for the public to be able to consider what roads are going to be cleared when and in what order. We didn't really get to roll that out this winter, but it will be something. Hopefully we're done with snow for this year, but will be something we'll be ready for next year. We'll have a map out there that will show the main routes that we're going to focus on first. So we're going to break them down into A and B routes, which will be the main routes that we are dedicated to treat first and make sure those stay open. Then we'll move on to C routes, which will be those secondary roads, and then something we're calling S routes, which will be subdivision roads. We're also working on a tracking software that will enable us to track those from the office to make sure some of those subdivisions do not get missed, because I know some of those are an issue. I mean, the guys do the best job that they can, but they are out there around the clock trying to make sure these things are clear, and they do get missed on occasion. So we don't do it intentionally, but it does happen. They may miss a road or two in a subdivision as well. So they just try to do the best they can, and we haven't really had a snow event of that magnitude for a while. So it was a challenge for them to get that done. So hopefully this process going forward will help kind of just a series of checks and balances to eliminate those misses. And also we'll be able to get that map out there and maybe some real-time reporting on what roads are clear and which ones have been treated. That way people can plan their route to work or to the grocery store or wherever they need to get to. So that's for the future, for going forward now. So we did learn a lot this year. So we do have a lot of the new equipment, which translated to fewer breakdowns, which kept us out there on the roads more. So that was a big positive for this year. I think the citizens are seeing a payoff for that, that the commissioners have, dedicated towards that. So you'll continue to see that. I'm putting together a plan for some additional fleet equipment in the years to come that will hopefully help with that as well. So more trucks we can have out there during these situations, the better off we are. We have 826 miles of roads. So.
Okay, I've stopped saying 860. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll fluctuate a little bit.
corrected
There are
yesterday.
some subdivisions that we're going to accept and stuff, so that number will change a little bit here in the coming months, first quarter of this year. But yeah, it's 826 miles of pavement that we do. 151 of those are gravel that we typically don't plow, but in situations like this, when we get this amount of snow, we have to plow those as well. So that's the road mileage and that's road mileage, not lane miles. So.
How does the county compare to the city amount of miles?
It's roughly double.
Then we talked yesterday too about the private road issue that we had people that, I'll just say it, were playing us saying, hey, you didn't plow my road, and we find out that it's a private road. So we're working on a way to identify private roads easier just by modifying the signs.
Correct.
So that's a project for this year. That's hopefully will be done before the next big snow.
And we had a couple of requests for some essential workers and things that did live on some private roads and some things. So, I mean, we needed to figure out how we're going to handle that in the future. But,
Sure.
Really, if it's a private road, it's up to those homeowner associations or those property owners to develop a way to get their road clear in a timely manner.
And that just makes it harder for us to get what needs to be done when we get diverted like that. And
Correct.
It
So
does,
the
it pulls
plan
resources.
is hopefully to keep these guys on track. That way we can keep the mains clear, because that is what gets the most traffic. So if we could go and plow your subdivision first, but if you can't get out, you can't travel on the main, it'd just make it more dangerous than that. So just to kind of let people know how we're doing it and how what the process is, I think will help out a lot.
And if a road is blocked, like we saw in Lakewood, by a service vehicle, our plow's going to keep going. They can't stop and wait for
Correct.
that.
He's not going to wait if there's somebody that he can't access that road for some reason, whether it's a contractor there for something, or maybe it's a vehicle broke down or something like that. If it's a vehicle that's broke down or blocking the road, he will radio dispatch and let them know. They'll get the sheriff out there to get that clear, and then we'll have to get that on the next pass. So we'll have to come back and get that.
Yeah, all the issues that I dealt with were, when you get down to it, were non-issues on our end. So it went so smooth.
Well, we had a plan, and it was executed well. Mother Nature let up on us just a little bit with not too much wind, and
Yeah.
we're reviewing it to implement it even better next year.
Correct. It's,
No more snow this year.
Yeah, every snow event's gonna be different, so we're gonna have to be adaptive on what we do and how we get out there. So, I mean, for example, that week, we had that big snowfall, and then, what was it, Thursday, we had, about an inch and a half or so that came back down again, so we had to go back to the mains to treat those, make sure they were open again. So, we kind of got to be flexible with that, bounce back and forth, but we're doing the best job we can do.
And you actually did some plowing too, I understand.
I did, yes.
You guys still won't let me do it. You'll let these two, because I got the CDL that,
I took the only truck that was available that didn't have a driver, so.
I saw what you did.
Brendan, you had your truck for like 5 days and wrecked it.
Hey, I just want to drive a big truck. That's street sweeper. I appreciate that. I enjoy that.
Yeah, it was a good team effort, no doubt about it.
They did great.
Well, I'll pass that along, guys. I know they worked really hard, so they'd appreciate the positive feedback.
Well, and our two new commissioners were out and about too, checking roads for you. So that does make a big difference. When you realize how big the county is, having those extra eyes out there helps.
Yep.
I was mainly just playing.
You were what?
Playing.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're playing, we know that, but you don't want to admit that. Hey, honey, I have to go check roads. Sure you do.
3 hours later.
Quit calling me honey in those text messages. That's right.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other thing you want to bring up?
No,
Comments from other businesses or commissioner?
I'm feeling good about how things are going the last few weeks. So, we had your jail meeting yesterday. Chris got to tour it. I may go today.
You should. You should too.
Yeah. 1
Jails
o'clock.
make me nervous.
It's got a lot of open places yet. You can get out.
You know, somebody just downloaded that and I couldn't use that. Jails make me nervous.
You said it.
I said it. No, it's amazing how they're still doing that with that muddy mess too. But it's good the roof's on and things are sealed up. What was your impression of it yesterday?
Sheriff's offices, all the walls are up. All the electrical's getting ran. There are jail cells in, and that's a real unique situation.
Really?
Yeah, they come in on basically a floor jack and they just set them in place.
Because they're all built
Everything's already plumbed in the cell. Toilets are already sitting there, sinks sitting there, the beds are already there, it's just in, drop, and out. Fireproofing's getting done. Everything in the building that's steel has to be fireproofed. The ceilings, pipes, everything.
So they spray it
Yeah.
with like a foam material.
Section C, which would be the east side of the cell block where the main pods are going, that is dry. White rock's in, they're getting ready to pour concrete there. It's amazing. I mean, not something to be proud of,
No.
building a bigger jail, but we're going to have one of the nicest jails, if not the nicest jail in the state of Indiana. And it benefits everybody. Also something that Eric told me from DLZ, we have a situation that where we're going to have private rooms for video visitation for a complete family. So if you're a mom and a dad and you come in with, or a mom and let's say dad's in jail, you come in with 2 or 3 kids, you get your own private room instead of just sitting in the office or sitting in the visitation area where everybody can see and hear what you're saying. So it's as modern as can be.
And we're watching the dollars on it too. I think, that's important to share that in our meeting yesterday, we had some discussion about requested improvements, and instead of all of us just saying yes and moving forward, we actually talk about this.
Yep. And we're still on budget.
Yeah.
And still on time, even though we're 59 days. I wouldn't say 59 days behind, but 59 days have affected the jail building process in some way. But they're still shooting for the same date.
Yeah, I think our project engineer and his team they come in every morning ahead of the game. They come in every morning with a plan to attack it.
I don't think any of us on here were really for this, but it's working. It's working right. So there's some comfort there. I guess. It's a jail.
Yep.
Good talk.
Yeah. Any other comments?
Any department heads want to say anything? No?
Want to put Vicky on the spot? No, don't do it to
She
Vicky.
could give us an update on how the response time and things were. during the snow.
Yeah, you want to share your 911's thoughts about the snow efforts? We like hearing from you, Vicki.
I know.
You do a good job.
Well, as everyone knows, when we have major weather, we always get an influx of calls. You know, we had, do you remember what the total was? Everyone, this is Sarah Holbert. She's my new assistant director.
Welcome, Sarah. Highly, highly, highly recommended, as I'll say in every opportunity that I can.
We had a lot of slide offs, which is always the case, you know, the roads, especially out in the county, where people leave early, you know, they just not expecting it to be that slick or that deep or whatever. So we had a lot of calls. Our people were, you know, on duty and got everyone taken care of as quickly as we possibly can. You know, our responses depend on how many deputies we have, how many officers we have in the city, how many units are already tied up. We might have to send them from another station to go on that response call. So our responses rely a lot on what we have available at the time. So, but everybody did a good job.
Well, thanks to all the dispatchers.
Yeah. And I have 2 new dispatchers this year that we're trying to get in and get up and going. So.
Yeah, we had to get the roads cleared so you could get your people in.
Yeah, they usually make it one way or the other. They just love coming to work, so.
Do you have open positions right now, Vicki?
I do.
How
I
many?
have 2.
2?
I hired 4. 1 has already left. They started February 10th was their first day. 1 has already left. He resigned the position.
That's pretty common, though,
It is.
once they see how intense the job is. And it's
Yeah.
not just sitting there and answering calls. I mean,
No.
The pressure and stress is enormous.
Yeah, so he's already left, and that put us down 2. And I have right now 4 people in training, so I'm gonna hold off on hiring the other 2 positions until I get some more people up and going and filling out. I have one that's should be coming along pretty soon as being out on her own, and then the 3 just started, so it's very difficult to try to train people and work yourself. We came up with a new training manual and a new training program that we're trying with these people, with these 3 people. It's when we started, so hopefully that'll be a good improvement. We have it all mapped out, timed out. You know, if you can't get it by this time, maybe this job is not for you. Instead of just letting people continue on, and then not be able to do it. So, unfortunately, in our line of work, that does happen. A lot of people just can't get past a certain point, or they take that one really bad call and they decide they don't want to do it anymore. So, we have a lot of obstacles that we have to cross. There's definitely a personality that has to do our job. So trying to find that fit is sometimes difficult, but we're working on it.
You guys, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Quietly going about your business in the middle of a big event.
Yeah, but we're used to that, though. I mean, you know, we don't really get too flustered at the time. Ours usually is after it's over and we're able to calm down. At the time we're going through it, we're all just business, but then afterwards where we're like, oh my gosh, did we really just do all that? So, but yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thanks, Vicki. You know the rest of them are sitting there saying, please don't pick me. Tammy, do you have a speech you want to give? No?
Depends what kind of mood she's in.
Yeah, she's in a good mood today, that's why I asked.
Michael, do you have any public comment?
I did not get any emails, Commissioner. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Wrap it up?
I recess this meeting?
Sure.
Okay, let's recess.
Speak loudly. Just write really loud. Pass them down.
Yeah. You would.
That one, so I can get it to Brian.